Hi, football family. Welcome back to another video with me, Football with Fakir, for all sorts of football content. And we're back with another weekend preview. This weekend, I'll be only focusing on the Premier League and some big fixtures across the globe. So stay tuned and let's jump straight into the video. So before we continue and jump into the video, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and do share this out to all your friends and family. It really helps the channel grow. We do interact with all the people who comment. So thank you so much if you have liked, subscribe, and comment on the previous videos. If not, we do appreciate you for just watching. However, please don't be shy. It takes nothing to hit the subscribe or the like button. So in the opening fixture, we have Chelsea hosting Fulham at Stamford Bridge in the London derby. Chelsea currently on 4 points. They went on last week and beat West Ham 5-1 after trailing 1-0 in opening 5 minutes. Chelsea look like a formidable side, to be honest, with players without, especially without Cole Palmer. Just to make that the way. Cole Palmer got injured in the warm up last week. Players like João Pedro stepping up, Estaval looking like a gem of a player, bringing back old school wingers, with the flair, the Brazilian type of wingers. And then you have Fulham, two draws so far. Both matches they went down 1-0. I feel as long as the match on Saturday between Chelsea and Fulham stays 1-0, 1-1, 0-0, Fulham, Fulham has the players to come from the bench to make an impact. They have players like Emil Smith Rao. It all depends who starts between Jimenez and Muniz. Adama Traore can come on and be a problem. Iwobi on his day can be unplayable. But I do think Chelsea will be too strong for them. I think Chelsea will be run out 3-1 victors. Chelsea scores early and they can get the second goal. I think they will just manage the game after that. Moving on to the 4 p.m. kickoff, Manchester United host Burnley. Manchester United is in shambles at the moment. It's a club that needs a win. 1 point so far after drawing to Fulham last week. A shadow of themselves what they were against Arsenal, and then in midweek they lost against Grimsby Town in the Carabao Cup. Um, Goalkeeping issues, not having a proper midfield. Is the system working? Does Emery need to do something? It's all the questions that the Manchester United fans are asking each other. They got up against a Burnley who picked up 3 points last week against Sunderland, the 6 pointer. I feel Burnley will feel this is another 3 points that they can get. Um, they will play from set pieces, to be honest. After seeing how Manchester United struggles against set pieces, this is what Burnley's going to do. They're going to pump the ball forward. They're going to try and win fouls, corners, throw ins in dangerous areas, and they're going to try to punish Man United. I do think Man United needs to win. Um, Whichever way it comes, that's what Man United needs to do. Get the win. If it's 1-0, scrappy, 2-1. Man United needs to win, to be honest. If they don't win, a draw is not good enough. If they don't win, I do see Ruben Amorim being sacked and not coming back after the international break. Because then you're 3 games in, you can still turn your season around. The longer you're going to keep Ruben Amorim and those players together, Man United will be a sinking ship. And we'll see at the end of the season how things turn out. Moving on to Sunderland versus Brentford. I Both teams has one win so far. Brentford obviously picking up a win last week. I do think this will be a draw. Um, both teams are evenly matched. I've watched Brentford in both games. They look a shadow of themselves without Mpuemo, without Visa. Um, New manager coming in. I do see a draw here. Um, and then Tottenham hosting Bournemouth. Tottenham currently in second place with 6 points, 5 goals scored in the 2 matches, conceded nothing. Defensively, Thomas Frank has set up a magnificent defense for Spurs. Richarlison looks like a revived player, a Richarlison of old. Palinia fits like a glove into the side. The centre backs are phenomenal. Van der Ven and Romero as always. And Bournemouth on the other hand picked up a win last week. A good performance against Liverpool. To come back to make it 2-2. We know what happened in that match. Semenyo, he will be instrumental for Bournemouth as I mentioned before. He will determine Bournemouth's season. He will be the reason if Bournemouth should stay up. It will be because of Semenyo. Um, Wolves versus Everton. Wolves, in my opinion, will get relegated. Everton with Jack Grealish in the side. We saw how they played against Brighton. Jack Grealish gives the team something different. James Garner played in his position in midfield, got on the score sheet. I think David Moyes made a mistake in the first week against Leeds. Um, Jordan Pickford is so key for Everton that you could see against Brighton the penalty save. He gets you that valuable point. He could have easily gone if Brighton had scored. It could have easily been a 2-2 draw because then Brighton will come and push Everton, have them their backs against the wall. But I think penalty save is so crucial, and it changes the game. It gets you a clean sheet. And then the last match on Saturday will be Leeds hosting Newcastle. Now Newcastle against Aston Villa. We saw a flat Newcastle. They played against 10 men. On Monday night against Liverpool, Newcastle was 10 men and they were better than Liverpool. They ran for 90 minutes. It's Newcastle needs to find the consistency. Um, no notable striker. Isak is still, they don't know where they stand with him. The striker came on in the week, he scored. Anthony Gordon is suspended. Tonali got injured. Joe Linton got injured. So it's all of how Newcastle can they continue the momentum they had on Monday night. I mean, if they can continue that, I feel add 1 or 2 or 3 plays before the transfer window closes. And when they go into Europe, they will have a good squad. I feel Jacob Ramsey needs to find his feet. He came on for Newcastle and he looked a bit slow, he looked a bit sluggish, he looked a bit off the pace. However, Leeds, Leeds coming from a 5-0 loss against Arsenal, they would want to bounce back. They picked up 3 points against Everton in the opening week. They looked a better side on that night again. So I do feel that it all depends which teams show up. I do predict Newcastle to go on and win 3-0. I think Ilanga will open his goal scoring account for Newcastle on Saturday. But like I mentioned, which side picks up. Um, Moving on to Sunday, Brighton host Man City. Brighton only 1 point so far. Losing against Everton on Sunday and City losing against Spurs on Saturday. I feel Brighton is always a bogey team for City. They always push City to the limits. I think City needs to kick on. Um, Pep Guardiola is in the same boat as Ruben Amorim. Even though City is playing beautiful football to watch, it is too robotic. It is too easy to suss out. It's easy to counter. You can set a trap for City. Um, I was watching Ryan Cherky on Saturday, and he looked so like he's forced to pass the ball to certain players because that's the system. I feel there's moments where he gets to receive the ball and he's in so much space that he has the ability to create something, but because the system, he needs to play the ball to Oscar Bob or he needs to play the ball to Rico Lewis. He's limiting himself, and that can be an issue because we saw towards the end of the first half when Turkey started getting on the ball more and he started being creative. Then City started looking like a different team, and then Pep takes him off 8 minutes into the second half. I do feel City will be too strong for Brighton. They will bounce back, and I feel City will come and score goals. It will be 3-4, 5-0. City will be the Haaland scoring a hat trick, in my opinion. Forest hosts West Ham. Forest will win. West Ham is in shambles. They it's horrible to watch West Ham. I think Graham Potter and Ruben Amorim is the two worst managers at the moment because the style of play that they are playing is not working. Um, Chris Wood is in good scoring form. Um, Callum Hudson-Odoi is there. Morgan Gibbs White for Nottingham Forest. I think they will just be too strong and they will win 2-0. Then Liverpool host Arsenal. This is the big one for the weekend. I do predict a 2 to draw. I think again Arsenal defensively is one of the best teams in the league. They have their set pieces, which is dangerous. But I think Hugo Ekitike, man, again, he's a player who I think he will give Saliba and Gabriel a tough time. We need to see Mo Salah on Monday night against Newcastle. He was not in the match; he was out of it. So we need to see Mo Salah turn up a game. And I think against Arsenal, um, whoever's playing at left back, whether it's Calafiori, or if they going up to go with Timber, or there's Lewis Kelly, you know, Salah should have a go at the left back. The issue that they have, you said right back for Liverpool. So boys like to dwell against Newcastle. But I mentioned it in my preview on TikTok that when the lineup came out is that I would have shifted Anthony Gordon into left wing because they had an issue at right back. Um, Anthony Gordon should have gone at Sabozlai because Harvey Barnes is one track mind is only going on the outside. So I feel if Eze, who you start Eze, play him as a left wing, take on Sabozlai, get him on the back foot and get the goals in. But I do predict 2 to draw. And then the last one, Aston Villa versus Crystal Palace. I do think this will be a draw as well. Crystal Palace losing Eze. I just don't think they have that fight in them to go on. And we saw it. We saw it against Chelsea. We saw it last week against Forest. I don't think Palace has that to grind out another result. I think they need to get a few more players in. And Villa, also a shadow of what they were last season. Obviously, towards the end of the season, Villa was good. They didn't get to keep those players again. So I do predict this match to also be a draw. I think it will be a dull affair, to be honest. Don't expect goals. It could be a 0-0, it could be a 1-1. But that's my prediction for the weekend. In other fixtures around the globe, we have the Scottish Derby, Rangers, and Celtic. That'll be an interesting game to watch. And then in South Africa, we have Stellenbosch FC hosting Mamelodi Sundowns. PSG travels to Toulouse in League One, while in the Serie A, Torino will play Fiorentina. That's the end of the video. Thank you once again for everyone who's liked, commented, who subscribed. I do appreciate the support. Let's try and get to 100 subscribers before the end of the month. Um, I know my goal was for August, but let's push it to the end of September. Let's try and get 100 subscribers. I do appreciate that. We'll have more content coming soon. So thank you very much. I do wish everyone has a good weekend. Enjoy the football. And from my side, football talk here. Cheers.